Man, I want to love this blade so much, but it kind of speaks to a systemic problem that has definitely been plaguing, I feel like, the pocket knife industry in the last year or so. I think some companies are starting to change, and I hope that we see more and more of this, but it really is somewhat frustrating. What's going on, guys? How we doing? Welcome back to another Blade review here at the channel. If you are new, I'm Aaron. This is Gideonstactical, testing out blades week in, week out, all types of different gear, and always shooting you straight. And what we are looking at here today is the CIVIVI TARASK, I believe is how you pronounce that. I'm not an excellent enunciator or speller, so one of my shortcomings in my life. So I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But this is a CIVIVI folder that just recently came onto the scene. And what I really like about it is that it definitely has some very good detailed aspects that connect with me. It pops. It's not boring. It's not like dull like some other kind of basic CIVIVIs that we're going to be looking at today, like the Mini Praxis. We got a couple different variants of different push button CIVIVIs that we're going to be looking at. I even got a Wii knife that's now from CIVIVI, stuff like that. So I really dig it. I really, really dig it. So let's hit the positives first, and then I'll hit you with kind of the one aspect that I'm just like, please, let's get some more, let's get this fixed. Let's get this fixed, guys. Knife industry, CIVIVI, it's not just CIVIVI, but, definitely I would love to see them start to do better in this area. Okay, here's what we're looking at. We're looking at a just under 3-inch blade. I believe it's like 2.9 inch blade on a flat grind. Really cool, aggressive lines. I love that smoke wash that they're doing there. Nitro V, 59 to, I believe, 60 or 61 HRC. Nitro V, they know it well. They do it well. I have zero complaints with that, especially because this is kind of a high value, sub $100, model. We'll get to pricing, competitive options a little bit later. But very piercing, very aggressive. I really like the aggressiveness of the design, piercing clip, but still a lot of belly. A lot of aggressive blades sometimes are just good for piercing, but this actually is, the design of the blade is really well executed along with the geometry of the grind. I mean, CIVIVI does a good job. I've rarely run into a knife that I was like, this isn't cutting well. So it's small, at just about 3 inches. So you're not going to be getting any huge sweeps, any crazy cuts, but basic cordage, cardboard, even a little bit of carving if you had to, doing different stuff. You were hiking with this and this is all you had, you could do worse. You could definitely do worse in the aspect of that. But for overall, just general EDC, it's a great kind of aggressive, not big, broad, like the Mini Praxis design. So it definitely stands out from designs like that. Totally dig it. Now, we're rocking a push button lock. CIVIVI kind of really brought those onto the scene back in the day. And it's, I would say, let's find another CIVIVI here. Yeah, definitely smaller than like on the Outlaw Muck previously reviewed. I'll try and tag that. So a little bit smaller, but they have a little bit of texture there. It's raised maybe 1 millimeter above the handle scale. So I would say it's pretty easy to engage and disengage. They've cut it out and scalloped all around it. So that's good. So you can obviously just push the button, whip open, because it's running on those ball bearings, which is nice and smooth. But then it gives you they give you 3 different actuation points. So you get a good flipper. It's not ginormous, I appreciate that, but it gives you just a little bit. Good jimping right there. Acts as a dueling guard to really lock you in. But then you got the open and close with the push button lock, but you also have good studs as well. Those thumb studs with the handle scale scalloped away on either side. Easy to engage, open and close. So deployment is excellent. Zero complaints on the deployment. The basic lockup, all that. We do have a standard size stop bar back there. Boom, pops in, no problem. And you have that flow-through construction, very large flow-through construction with stainless steel liners that are all hollowed out. So it's very light, under 3 ounces. And then this model is G10. I believe they have several different handle, material options, things like that in there. And what I really like is that it's not a super basic, like just slab of G10 or something. They are really working on giving us some uniqueness. You have some hollowed out pin, or like holes, just to give you some flow through. So that's cool. And then they got this nice groove. They've scalloped all the angles, so it's, not sharp anywhere, but it just has a very like stealthy, like dart kind of vibe to it. boom, you know, it just really does feel good in that regard. Now, the final part and kind of piece of the puzzle for me that I really like, tip is buried in there, excellent. Detent is good. Yeah, not going to come out. That's good as well. Is that they really, I think they've been hearing from a lot of us, at least me, and I'm sure people like me, kind of critiquing some of the pocket clips. They're just like, They went with a titanium pocket clip that they have taken off of like some of their more premium Wiis, the Navo, or Navo, I don't know how you pronounce that. This is a Wii knife, titanium pocket clip, and this is a titanium pocket clip. So that's cool. I really like it. It's a good kind of difference. It matches, you know, it's a steer away from this. So you definitely feel like you're getting a more premium design with all the cutouts, all the different, you know, attention to detail, titanium ambidextrous pocket clip. So it's ambi, righties and lefties. You're going to totally dig it. All those aspects, no complaints there, and at a pretty good value of under 70 bucks, like 67 last I checked. Blade HQ, I'll try and link, you know, Blade HQ, Knife Center, DLT, you know, all the distributors that I regularly partner with and have affiliates through, Amazon, you know, all of that. So yeah, the for that price, I feel like the materials and the execution is there. So then what's the problem? You know, like what would be my issue? The issue is the size of the handle, just the overall size of the knife. I mean, I'm fine with like a 3-inch knife, I guess, but the handle, even though it's pretty girthy, okay, this is a pretty girthy, like right around 1/2 inch thick. They've done a good job with that part of it. And if you were to run it up against a Praxis, even though it's about the same size, because the handle is wider and the tapering is slightly different, it's a better ergonomic experience than the Praxis. The other reason is they didn't do a choil on it. You know, a lot of these companies, they're doing choils that are not necessary on little blades, especially if the locking mechanism doesn't require it. It's silly to have a choil on there. So I'll say right away, if you are a fan of the mini Praxis or you got the mini Praxis and you need that size of like 3 inches or less, but you weren't happy with it, this is definitely better ergonomically, and I prefer it because it doesn't have the choil. It does have a better handle, but it's still really short. It's too short for me. It's just a small knife. This would be a perfect 3¼ inch blade and like a 4¼ inch handle. That would be a perfect size. I would be all over this thing. But because it's a 4-inch overall, and then we look at from guard to where it ends, which is what actually matters, we're looking at 3¼ inches. Well, guess what? My knuckle span is 3¼ inches when we line it up right there. So I am cramped trying to, my pinky is trying to grab on for dear life. And it's not necessary. Even if they just leave everything the same, just bring the handle out slightly longer, just to give more real estate for the average adult male, I feel, hand, who is the main customer for these knives, would be preferred. We need to see bigger handles, bigger knives. Let's go. The regular like 2.75 inch-ish handle or blade, and then the handle coming right around like 4 inches or less, I'm not a fan. I'm getting kind of tired of it, to be honest with you. I'm getting bored. It's boring, and I'm tired of it. You guys can tell I'm just kind of getting annoyed. So here's an Elementum, push button Elementum. That will be better. It's bigger, rounder, fuller, but still my finger is just barely holding on for dear life. And it's getting... So this is way cooler looking than the Elementum, way more stylish. A little bit more expensive, you're going to pay for that. And if you own the Elementum, you know, or the Mini Praxis, and you want something, you know, like it's like a little more premium, or you're looking at those like in style, then yeah, the styling is excellent. But like this is what it should be. This is what needs to start happening, okay? And CIVIVI sent me this knife, guys, but I always keep it real with you. When CIVIVI does something excellent, I share it. When they don't, or I'm tired of something, I also share it. And so here's like you can get this from CIVIVI now for under 100, the Navo, and I believe it's the exact same size. This is perfect. It's just a little bit longer blade length. I have full real estate. I'm not gripping for dear life. I feel like I'm in control of the knife. And let's just look at from the guard. Yeah, it's 3 3/4 inch. Perfect. The overall handle length is 4 3/8. Thank you. This is ideal. And then you can make the same handle just if you're like concerned. Well, a lot of people need like 3 inches or less. Cool. Shorten it to 2.9 inches overall and leave the handle the same. excellent. And then do it like a 3.45-inch blade or 3.75-inch blade. You know, do different options like that. But these micro handles that someone with a large size hand, and again, 3 1/4 is not that big knuckle span. When you do that, it's getting old, man. It's just really starting to get old. Like the Outlaw Muck, thankfully, is not, you know, thank you. That's right. Now, I like the style of the TARASK more. I would carry this more if it was this size than this. But it's like, man, come on. And even like Voss Steed is finally like picking up on it. They made the Martin. This is a Martin. 3.3 inches overall blade length, 4.2 inches handle length. And oh, look, I have full real estate and I'm not falling off the blade. It's bigger, it's beefier, it's all around a larger handle. And then I still have a dedicated choil if I want to, but I'm not forced into it. And I can do that. I can work with this blade all day. And it doesn't feel like I'm losing grip on that pinky. It's not holding on for dear life. So we need more of this. We need more of this. More of this size. More of this size knives. Less of this. And if they're going to do this, bring the freaking handle out this much further. It's not going to kill anyone. And they will automatically, honestly, if the handle was just a little bit longer, I would be like, do it. But it's not. It's not. And so I'm not going to carry this. I'm not going to carry it. It's going to be delegated to the knife box or to my kids or something. I don't know. And so I hope they do an XL version, bring it out to 3.45, extend the handle, and I'd be all over this thing. All over it all day. And I've seen this now so many times from different brands that it just needs to stop. It needs to stop. If anything, start with this and then shrink it for those who need it or something. I don't know. So that's me and my mileage, guys. I hope that it has been fun, entertaining, giving you the data that you need. And leave comments below. Questions, if you do want to check this out or some of the other competitive options, all included below. Appreciate you guys. Till next time, always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.